Okay, Hector, here we've got the Tamiya 1/35th barricade set, which is pretty damn big, but it is cheap. That might be a winner. Next we've got the Rubicon Models Dragon's Teeth and Czech Hedgehog set, which is 3 times the price, but it is 1/56 scale, so therefore is three times more in scale. And lastly, we have the bolt action anti-tank obstacles, which I think are the clear winners. What do you think? All of them? Okay, well that's slightly more complicated than what I wanted to do, but okay. Alrighty then, so I was going to do a comparison video between these sets to figure out which one was the best, but then I kind of realised that I have absolutely no interest in doing that, given they cost a maximum of about £12 each. So instead, I'm just going to make a big old pile of scatter terrain and mix and match all 3 of the sets. The Tamiya stuff, yes, is definitely too big, but at £3 a go, it was worth a little look-see. The bolt action Italy stuff is purpose built for this situation, so we know the scale of that will be fine. And as a fun little extra bonus, it comes with a reel of barbed wire to use. Rubicon stuff is pretty interesting. Mostly their vehicle kits are cheaper than bolt action stuff and probably a smidge nicer. But this terrain kit is loaded with 3 sprues, which is a welcome bonus. And each of these little concrete lumpy dudes, the Dragon's Teeth, come in varieties of clean, worn, and knackered. So it's quite a bit of diversity there. As I've said, I'm going to be crossing over all the kits aside from probably the Tamiya ones, and mix and matching between the Italy and the Rubicon. They're basically the same size, so that's fine. If you want to keep track of which ones I'm using where before I paint them, the Warlord Italy stuff is white and the Rubicon stuff is a darker grey. Going down first are these little pyramid things that I don't actually know what they're called or what their purpose is, so I'm probably incorrectly wrapping barbed wire around them, but you know, hey ho. I'm wrapping them fairly haphazardly, since this was probably done by some poor 16-year-old conscript, and I know from experience, asking a 16-year-old to do pretty much anything usually gets you the worst job done in the shortest amount of time. For our barbed wire, I'm pretty sure this is common knowledge, but wrapping this stuff around a pencil or a screwdriver pretty much just gives you instant barbed wire coils that you can then tease out and throw on your base. Lazy man's trick here, save yourself some money and drying time on your texture paint while you're at it. For these ground undulations, just throw on some screwed up masking tape and then apply more masking tape over the top to smooth the transition. Once texture paint goes over the top, it's going to be pretty legit, to be honest. I did make some use of the Tamiya stuff, I chopped up a load and made it into some makeshift, quite frankly pish looking structures. They look something more like a Stone Age washing line than anything else. And as a little side-by-side comparison before I put these kits away forever, here is the Tamiya Czech Hedgehog compared to the Rubicon Czech Hedgehog. Yes, so it is a little bit north of the size we might want. Quick shout out to me mate Chris at Warblade Miniatures. They've got a cheeky little Kickstarter up for some gribbly, gross and horrible classic style chaos plague demons. Yeah man, he's basically boglins in power armor, so that's absolutely my kind of thing. Cast in metal and weighing in just shy of half a kilo, that is my kind of squad. These are all hand cast by our super best friend Chris at Warblade and come in at £30 a set or 2 sets for £55. It's a short run Kickstarter and supporting this kind of thing is going to cover the cost of getting the product mastered and moulded and ready to run off a new product for a small business. So if this tickles your tackle, then by all means get you some. On to painting. Everything has been primed with black, after which we'll be attacking pretty much everything with a lazy dry brushing. A lot of this is flat surfaces and whatnot, so it is very easy to get brush lines and marks everywhere. I found the answer to this was to just use more passes with the dry brush and taking my time with it. Grey is good. Grey is very good. I've got a few different shades on here and I don't really worry about specific kinds of shades or colours. If I could have found my B&Q tester pots, I'd probably have used those, but any decent acrylic will do the job. Then with our hot electronic component grabber and sponge combo, we're going to stipple on some additional colours and textures. Some light browns, some creams, some dark muddy colours. That'll do the job, that'll be quite nice. This can serve as both an additional highlighting step and an interesting texturing step. For the barbed wire and the Czech hedgehogs, I'll take a little bit of the old Surcoat silver and just roughly slap some metallics on there. Dry brushing, stippling, just whatever gets it on there. Okay, yeah, right. That is a lot of stuff. I kind of lost track of how much I was making. It all looks fairly decent and ramshackled and knackered, which is fine. I'm planning on having this in games of Konflikt 47 where everything has basically been sat on the battlefield for at least 2 years after its expiry date, so for me, knackered is good. But yes, it is a lot of stuff, so thankfully I have got a drum of earth texture paint for it. I'm going to try a tasty little bit of this new Dark Arts paint from Tooth & Coats to see how that sits. I think this is going to give it a nice kind of pinky clay earth texture look to it when it's on. Very nice. And then some lighter, more natural earthy tones to pick out the details. I probably used like half a dozen different browns and creams on these in the end. Too many to list. But I did also bring in a desaturated green to introduce a little colour into the mix, which is going to help with tufts and flowers. It will help them just sit a little bit nicer at the end if there's already green on there. To give our barricades a little more weathering, I've made up a few washes with speed paints and water, and we've got a black, we've got a leathery brown, and we've got kind of like a blacky brown green combo. I would go oil washes, but I'm kind of sick of them leaking all over my desk and leaving a smell for days. So we're just going to go with the acrylic ones, guys. Tuft-wise, I've got a selection from mostly Gamer's Grass, with some really nice synthetic bushes from AK Interactive. Not really sure what advice to offer when adding tufts. The simplest way I do it is to just have 3 or 4 different colour variations to pull from, and I usually have one of them be a slightly different texture to just static grass if I can. And then I just place them randomly without really thinking about spacing and position too much. Yeah. Remember guys, Mother Nature don't give a shit, so why should you? These turned out pretty okay. I've given them a play test in Konflikt 47 already, and they're really nice and thematic, but also hard wearing. Like, I can sling them in a box after the game, and they don't seem to have any problem with that. Yeah. Barring the drying time, I'd say this takes about 6 to 7 hours to make them. Very happy with that. I think a mix of the Italeri Warlord bolt action box and the Rubicon box is the way to go. For the combined cost of like 25, 28, I don't think you're going to regret getting both. And I picked both of these sets up from Mighty Lancer Games. They are one of the few Rubicon stockists in the UK, so that is worth checking out. Thank you to my wonderful Patreon community for being excellent, awesome, and wonderful to each other. And thank you to you for watching. For now, cheers! I'm out of here.